When Casino Royale released in 2006, it didn't just reboot the James Bond franchise, it redefined it. Audiences were introduced to a raw, grounded, and emotionally vulnerable Bond played by Daniel Craig. But what made this film stand out even more was its heavy reliance on real stunts, practical effects, and death-defying filmmaking. Today, we're diving deep into some of the movie's most iconic scenes, from the legendary Madagascar parkour chase to the heart-shattering Venice sinking sequence, from jaw-dropping car flips to airport explosions. Let's break them down, scene by scene. The iconic opening chase of Casino Royale, 2006, set in a chaotic, dusty Madagascar construction site, was nowhere near Africa during filming. Instead, the entire sequence was shot near Nassau and Paradise Island in the Bahamas, on an abandoned hotel complex that the production team transformed into a massive fake construction zone. To match the raw, unstable energy of an under-construction African site, the art department built real steel girders, scaffolding towers, half-finished walls, concrete slabs, and temporary cranes. Much of this heavy equipment wasn't even locally available. Because Hurricane Katrina had caused crane shortages in the US, the production shipped multiple giant cranes from the UK just to achieve the right industrial silhouette in the background. But the real backbone of the chase was Bond's direct approach and Malaka's parkour movement. Instead of hiring a regular stunt performer, the filmmakers cast Sebastian Foucan, one of the pioneers and global icons of freerunning. This iconic opening parkour chase, Daniel Craig performed a surprising amount of the action himself, but not the entire sequence. Craig handled the rooftop sprints, the transitions across scaffolding, and the gritty close combat moments inside the construction site, allowing Bond's physicality to feel raw and believable on screen. He even walked and maneuvered across certain sections of the towering crane himself, especially those mid-level shots where the camera stayed close on his face. But the moment the chase enters the truly extreme territory, the dizzying heights, the impossible leaps, and the advanced parkour maneuvers, stunt doubles and professional free-running experts take over. The character of Malaka is played by Sebastian Foucan, one of the real-life pioneers of free-running, and almost all of the ultra-athletic stunts were performed by him. His movement brought a unique and fluid rhythm to the chase, graceful, acrobatic, dance-like. And opposite him, the high top jump, the high altitude leaps, the vertical frame climbs, and those near impossible drops were almost entirely executed by Foucan and the stunt team. Their expertise allowed the sequence to maintain its breathtaking realism without putting the lead actor at life-threatening risk. Director Martin Campbell used this duality as the emotional engine of the entire sequence. The stunt team, led by Gary Powell, spent months designing the chase and conducted 6 weeks of intense rehearsals. Actors and stunt performers were trained to move across high steel beam, narrow girders, crane structures, unstable wooden planks, multi-level platforms, medium close-ups to keep Bond and Malaka inside the audience's breathing space. Risky jumps and complex movements were shot using multi-camera arrays, giving editors multiple angles to stitch together a seemingly seamless, continuous pursuit. What makes this chase truly special is its minimal use of CGI. Almost everything was real. CGI was used only for wire removal, slight background touch-ups, and shot stitching, keeping the sequence grounded, heavy, and brutally tactile. Right after the parkour chase, the film transitions into a heated shootout inside an embassy-like military compound, and this entire segment was created using a blend of real locations, practical gunfire, and limited VFX. The rifles firing in the scene were mostly real blank-firing prop guns, meaning the muzzle flashes were practical, not CGI. This gave the shots natural lighting pulses on the actors' faces and walls, something artificial flashes can never fully replicate. Squib charges were embedded inside the walls. Spark hit rigs created metal ricochets. Concrete dust capsules burst outward on cue. These miniature explosive rigs were triggered remotely and precisely timed, giving the illusion of real bullets ripping through the embassy. The result is a sequence that feels chaotic, loud, and dangerous, because most of it was real. The heartbreaking climax of Casino Royale, 2006, where Vesper Lynd becomes trapped inside a sinking elevator as the Venetian palazzo collapses, looks so realistic that many viewers assume the production flooded a real Venetian building. But the truth is far more impressive. Instead of risking real architecture in Venice, the crew constructed a full-scale replica of the palazzo's interior, complete with collapsing beams, antique staircases, and an iron lift, inside the legendary Pinewood Studios water tank in London. At the heart of the sequence was a custom-built immersible elevator cage, not a real Venetian lift. This elevator was designed to sink straight downward into water, rotate and tilt on command, withstand thousands of gallons of pressure, hold 2 actors safely while submerged. To achieve all this, the lift was mounted on a massive 80 to 90-ton hydraulic rig, capable of multi-axis movement. Every tilt, every drop, and every second of sinking was controlled by Moog motion control systems, the same ultra-precise tech used in large-scale special effects. This allowed the entire structure to submerge smoothly and safely, creating the illusion of a collapsing building without any real danger. Meanwhile, the wide exterior shots showing Venice collapsing, the canals, the boats drifting by, the beautiful and fragile buildings of the Grand Canal, were all filmed on real Venetian locations in Italy. The team shot extensively around the canal routes with real architecture and natural light, capturing the authentic geography and atmosphere of Venice. Later, the VFX team digitally blended these real plates with the collapsing digital palazzo model to create the illusion that the sinking structure existed in the middle of the real city. The result is a seamless combination of physical sets, underwater engineering, and location footage, a blend so perfect that many viewers still believe the filmmakers drowned an actual building. The elegant train sequence between Bond and Vesper in Casino Royale may look effortlessly classy on screen, but behind the scenes, it was a carefully controlled piece of filmmaking. Instead of shooting on a real moving train, the production built a full-scale dining car and corridor set inside Prague's Barrandov studios. The team recreated the illusion of movement using specialized lighting rigs, shifting reflections, and simulated passing landscapes outside the windows. This studio setup allowed the cinematographers to use tight framing and fluid camera movements, capturing every subtle shift in Bond and Vesper's chemistry with precision. For the kissing moments, the set was nearly closed off, with only essential crew allowed inside to maintain focus and comfort. Eva Green later explained that during shooting, romance feels nothing like real-life affection. Everything relies on technical cues, perfect angles, consistent lighting, and matching continuity across takes. Midway through the film comes one of its most shocking moments, the brutal Aston Martin crash right after Vesper's kidnapping. Bond speeds down a dark road in his DBS until his headlights reveal Vesper unconscious on the ground. He swerves hard to avoid her, and that sudden turn sends the car into a violent series of flips. But what makes the scene unforgettable is that this scene was shot almost practically. The filmmakers didn't rely on CGI to create the crash. Instead, they executed one of the most dangerous, technically complex practical car stunts ever filmed. The entire sequence was shot at the Millbrook Proving Ground in the UK, a secured automobile testing facility where the team could perform high-speed runs without external risk. During early planning, the stunt team initially expected the car to flip easily using a traditional hidden ramp, a standard technique in stunt driving. But the Aston Martin DBS turned out to be too perfect for its own good. Its low center of gravity and extremely rigid chassis made it too stable. In test after test, even at high speeds, the car simply refused to roll. It would launch off the ramp and land neatly back on its wheels, like a gymnast sticking a landing, which was completely useless for the violent crash Martin Campbell envisioned. After weeks of experimentation, stunt coordinator Gary Powell and the special effects crew designed a revolutionary solution. They installed a high-pressure nitrogen cannon inside the car, mounted behind the driver's seat. This device acted like a steel battering ram, firing downward with explosive force and kicking the car sideways into a violent rotation the moment it left the ground. When filming day arrived, professional stunt driver Adam Curley accelerated the DBS to nearly 120 kilometers per hour, heading straight for the ramp in a real, uncontrolled run. The timing had to be perfect. A millisecond off, and the car could spin wrong, crash sideways, or endanger the driver. As the front wheels touched the ramp, the effects team triggered the nitrogen cannon. The blast slammed into the road surface beneath the car like a hammer, launching the DBS into the air and sending it into a ferocious hurricane of barrel rolls. The car flipped not just once or twice, but 7 full rotations, slamming into the ground again and again in a shower of sparks and dust. The stunt was so extreme that it broke a Guinness World Record for the most cannon-assisted barrel rolls in film history. To shoot this sequence safely, the production used several different Aston Martin units. Daniel Craig's close-up shots were filmed inside a pristine Hero car, while the actual crash required heavily modified stunt versions built with reinforced roll cages, strengthened frames, and fire suppression systems, because the team knew each car would be completely destroyed on impact. And it was. Every crash left the DBS crumpled beyond recognition. But what the team captured that day is now considered one of the greatest practical stunts in the Bond franchise. No CGI shortcuts, no digital cheat, just pure physics, expert engineering, and one incredibly brave stunt driver. After months of planning and mechanical innovation, the airport chase sequence in Casino Royale, the one where a police car is blasted into the air, a full-sized bus tears cleanly into 2 pieces, and James Bond brawls atop a massive fuel tanker, stands as one of the most ambitious practical action set pieces in modern Bond history. What most viewers don't realize is that nearly every explosion, flip, collision, and vehicle stunt in this scene was executed for real, using large-scale engineering rigs, specially modified vehicles, and tightly choreographed mechanical effects. The entire chase was filmed at Dunsfold Aerodrome in Surrey, England, a real, functioning airfield also used for Top Gear and previously for the Batmobile test drives in The Dark Knight. The production completely transformed this aerodrome into a high-security airport environment, setting up dummy aircraft, fuel tankers, police cars, shuttle buses, security gates, and barricades to build a fully controllable runway system. Everything the audience sees happening at this airport was meticulously staged within this real location. One of the most jaw-dropping moments in the chase is when a jet engine's blast sends a police car flying into the air, flipping like a piece of paper caught in a storm. While the movie suggests that the aircraft's thrust caused this, the real stunt was achieved through pure mechanical power, not wind effects. The stunt team attached the car's rear end to a high-tension steel cable connected to a powerful off-screen crane system. At the exact moment required, the cable was yanked with massive force, precise down to milliseconds, causing the vehicle to whip upward, rotate through the air, and crash violently onto the tarmac. The flip captured on camera is 100% real physics, created by torque and rapid directional pull. Later, the VFX team added digital elements like jet exhaust heat distortion, engine blast flames, debris and sparks, dust clouds, and blur. These enhancements sold the illusion that the car had been thrown into the sky by an aircraft's power, even though the stunt itself was entirely practical. Another standout stunt is the moment when a full-size airport bus appears to split into 2 clean halves. This wasn't CGI trickery. The production team actually engineered a real bus to break apart on command. First, the bus was pre-cut internally at strategic weak points and reinforced externally so the split would happen cleanly and predictably. Then, the stunt coordinators built a hidden pulley and gantry system beneath the runway. At the moment of impact, the gantry pulled the front section of the bus sharply upward while the rest remained grounded, creating the shocking visual of the vehicle tearing in half. To heighten the realism, pyrotechnics teams added controlled explosions, spark charges, metal debris bursts, etc. Each take required resetting the rig, replacing destroyed parts and ensuring the bus remained stable and safe to stunt with again. Multiple runs were needed to perfect the split while maintaining the safety of the crew and stunt performers. Casino Royale didn't just reboot James Bond, it rebuilt him through practical stunts, real locations, and fearless filmmaking. From death-defying parkour to record-breaking car rolls, from Venice sinking sets to explosive airport sequences, the film earned its legendary status through real craftsmanship. If you enjoyed this BTS breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep-dive filmmaking stories. Because behind every great movie, there's an even greater story waiting to be uncovered.